Okay, so I want to thank Jennifer for being here. We're going to talk about the speaker series that's coming up. And to not take up too much time because I want to get her talking, it's going to be her and Gerald Gaskins. So, Gerald, I'll do a very small intro on him, but pretty much everyone knows who he is. Senior VP, Strategic Capture Executive at Leidos. He recently retired, but he retired while simultaneously holding two executive titles at Leidos. If there was an Olympic sport, I'm pretty sure that he'd get the gold with that because I don't know anyone else that's ever done that. So, and then Jennifer, you are a founder of Peerless Group, and you have worked with companies and as a consultant in capture for a few years. We're not going to date ourselves. I might have been wearing parachute pants at the time when you first started. So you've got some years with experience. And the goal of this was to have you guys talk about capture outside of the breakfast. So, Jennifer, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Xander. I appreciate your kind words in the introduction as well.
So let's get right into it. What the two of you, what did you guys want to talk about? What's important about why should people come and hear you guys talk?
Well, capture is one of the most essential, critical aspects of winning business. I would say it's the most critical aspect of winning new business in the government contracting industry. And I think many of you can appreciate that. And then there's others that are constantly sending me emails or direct messages or giving me a telephone call asking for tips on it. So when APMP approached me to speak at this event, I was delighted to do so because I'm happy to share what I've picked up over the years. And I suggested that we also invite Gerald Gaskins, who was a close colleague of mine when I was with Leidos, who I still remain close with today. And he's one of the best in the business as well. So I just want to be there basically to talk about capture, share some of my experiences, and answer any questions that people have.
I love that. I love that idea. So to try to get some snippets from you, let me ask one quick question. What is the
Sure.
biggest capture management challenge today? What is it that you're facing the most?
Well, I think the biggest challenge today is competition, really. Competition is increasing every year in terms of the ability to win, the ability to differentiate. There are more and more companies that are entering into the market. And I think that it's also not just competition amongst people outside, but also inside the company because companies have a stronger appetite, particularly if they're larger businesses, publicly traded, to go after more and more velocity of opportunities with, sometimes not as much resources. So I think making sure that your capture rises to the top of the totem pole and the priority list is incredibly important. And then just also just competition for time and resources. So your own time, if you're getting spread thin, how do you manage your time so that you can put the amount of effort that's required on specific capture so you can win it?
That's a very solid point. Thank you. When it comes to capture, one question that always pops in my head, and as you started talking, it did this time. When you have capture teams that are with large organizations and with small organizations, startups, what's the difference? How does a capture manager, can they excel at both? Do they need different skill sets?
I think that when you're in a smaller organization, it can be even more challenging than it is a larger organization because you might not have a team. You might be a team of one. So the different skill set is trying to wear multiple hats and juggle multiple priorities, but also keeping in mind that capture discipline and not trying to skip steps and not do things simply because you don't have the resources, because that's not going to turn out well. So being the voice of reason within that small company that can push back and say, hey, this isn't a good idea. We really ought to be doing it this way, or we need to consider these other options as well. I think it's important to stay grounded in that if you're a capture manager working in a small organization.
Now you came up through proposals to getting into capture.
Yes.
So how did you learn? When you were a writer and when you were a manager, what was it that you took away from capture? What was it that you wish you learned from capture?
Well, I tried to absorb everything that I could from capture, and I think that's one of the key distinguishing elements is that capture kind of has to be informed and educated about all aspects of the entire business development process rather than a singular aspect of a proposal or rather than just the proposal itself. So what I tried to do was really um, just absorb as much of what people were talking about and tried to ask as many questions as possible in order to understand it so that I was able to understand all those pieces of the puzzle.
Okay. Well, I know that I didn't want to take up too much of your time. Was there anything else you wanted to add as a catcher, as a reason why people need to come out and see you?
Um, Only that there's not too many opportunities out in the community to find out and learn more about capture in a small and intimate setting where it's not just, open up your textbook to page 5 and we're going to review these bullet points. You have a chance to talk to other peers that are in the industry and to talk to people who've actually rolled up their sleeves and we've been doing it for I've been doing it for 20 years, and I don't want to say how long Gerald's been doing it for, but longer than 20 years. So so yeah, I'm doing it because I just enjoy meeting new people and I hope to see some of my old friends as well. So I think it'll be a really fun event and I hope to see as many people there as possible.
I think it will be. I know that we're keeping the audience small, so everyone that gets a chance to attend, they're going to have direct access to you and Gerald. They'll be able to ask you those questions. They'll be able to have a discussion with peers, and I think you're going to get as much out of this as they're going to get. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah,
Excellent.
definitely.
So the 20th, come see us. The link will be below. Don't worry. I look forward to this. And Jennifer, thank you so much.
Thanks, Xander.